Hi, I'm Phoebe, and I'm the product lead for Business Central in the marketing team here at the HBP Group. Today, I'm going to take you through our high-level Business Central taster demo. It will only take us around 15 minutes, but it's a really good introductory demonstration, especially useful if you've never seen the system before. I'm going to show you some of the best bits, and hopefully you can start to get a feel of the system and see if you like the look of it. I will share my screen and we can take a little look around. As a bit of an overview of the system before we do take a quick look, as standard, it will cover every element of your business. So you'll get really robust financial management and reporting in there. You'll be able to manage all of your stock and procurement with warehouse management. It has lots of functionality in the CRM system for any marketing and sales management. Plus, you'll get things like project costing and some employee management with HR. And as I say, this is a standard because unless you choose to expand on certain capabilities, all of this is included with an essentials license within the system. You'll see I'm using Microsoft Edge today, but with this being a true cloud product, you can use any device as long as you have an internet connection. So this is a Business Central homepage. This screen will look a little different depending on your role, and that's because the way that it has been built is with your users' roles in mind. All of this data and this information that you see here is relevant to you, and it will automatically update and change depending on what it is that you need to see. So the way that it looks and functions is designed by roles, but to make life a little bit easier, the system does come with a number of pre-configured roles. You can select any of these, and then all of that information that you see on the home screen will change accordingly. But in short, the homepage will show you things that you want to action, or it's going to show you cues that you're going to want to look into. And with your cues and your hyperlinked information, you can drill down into them for more detail. So whether that's to see if you've got purchase documents that are past their due date, maybe there's some unprocessed payment runs, or simply whether you want to look into something which perhaps requires your approval. Each of these cues and the hyperlinks act as a filter of data in the background. As well as those cue-based insights, you'll also see a number of dashboards that are relevant to you from your homepage. Again, you can select and change these, but they could be around things like your financial performance, or in my case, I'm looking at some information around some of our aged debtors. So on the right-hand side of the chart, I can see that I've got receivables that are overdue for more than 12 weeks. So that would be something that I'd be quite keen to look into. I just simply select that element of the chart, and that drills down into those specific transactions that are perhaps causing a problem in credit control for us. And on each of these transactions, I'm also able to quickly access the customer details and some analytics around them for a bit more information too. One of the things that's so impressive about Business Central is its Microsoft integration capabilities that you just do not get with other systems. So I can actually interact with other Microsoft 365 products, such as Microsoft Teams, without ever leaving the system. So given the nature of what I'm looking at, I'd be quite keen to action something off the back of this. So what I can do is I can select this full list of transactions and I can share that through to Teams. It will look just as familiar as it does as if you were in the Teams desktop app too. So I can send that list across to our finance department, and I can add in a little message here as well, and I can ask them to go and communicate with people in logistics and try to find out what the answers are and get in front of any problems. And of course, by doing so, we can try to resolve that for our customers, which means we receive our money faster, but the customer is going to receive a better level of service. So once I've shared that link and I've asked for that communication to happen, I can then just close that down and I can carry on with my day. Another of those insights that you can see on the right here is our cash flow forecast, which is a really useful insight to have easy access to. But it does go a little bit further than what systems usually show you. So I can hover over August, for example, and I can see some key indicators of money coming in and going out of the business. But what's built into this is the power of Cortana, or AI, of the Microsoft Azure platform. So it's not only looking at data that the system knows about, but it's also looking at trends in that data, and it's thinking about things that perhaps usually happen, or things that can happen, which is going to give you a much truer picture of your financials. So I did touch a little on that Microsoft integration from within Business Central, but one of the best bits of that integration is what it can also do whilst you're not in the system. So the Outlook integration in particular is amazing because of how much time people spend in their inboxes. People love this element. So I'm using what is called the app launcher here, just to switch really quickly and easily to Outlook. Business Central will use your Active Directory, and because your Users 365 licenses are linked across all Microsoft products, it makes it really simple to log into one system and switch between them, as you've just seen, without the need to log in with your password across multiple systems all of the time. So when I start my working day, the first thing that I'll usually do is open and look at my emails. But what's so impressive about Business Central is what you can do from your inbox, which will help save you time across repetitive tasks. So this first email here is from my colleague, Steph. So Steph's sent a request to authorize a purchase order, and I can actually do that from this email. So you can see that the email is sent with a couple of hyperlinks, and it does give some of the high level details, but I can have a quick look at this before I decide whether to approve it. So by clicking this link, it will take me to the purchase order record. And when it loads up, it will allow me to do things like view any attachments or documents that are linked to it from within Business Central. You can also see those customer insights there, just as you could from within Business Central. I can look at the document itself. I can go down and I can look at the line detail. I can check the coding of that line detail. I could correct that coding if I needed to, or do anything else that I might need to do. But ultimately, I can choose to approve it, and I can release that back into the system. That will then update the status within Business Central immediately, and it means that Steph and I can get on with our days, and a job which would usually require a lot more time and the need for me to switch between systems is completed in a matter of seconds. So the second email here is a request for some items. If a customer contacts me, I can actually raise a sales transaction, and the AI that we've touched a little on will read the body of the email, even if there are no hyperlinks, like in this instance, and it will start to make predictions about what I should deal with. So I'm going to choose to raise this as a sales order. But as you can see, there are a number of things that I can do from any email that I receive. Just given the nature of this one, it would be a sales order. So what happens now is it will go off and it will match up that email address against the contact that's in Business Central, and it will find the relevant account. And then using that AI capability, it knows the type of product that we sell, and it can see the quantity that's been requested by the customer. So it's done all of that legwork for me. I just need to add that suggested line. At this stage as well, you can even add other lines, an unboxing service or a delivery charge if that was relevant, or perhaps a line that links to a GL code, all directly from this email whilst you're still in Outlook. Obviously, they've only requested those few items, so I would just simply need to hit release on this order, and then just release it back into the system. What we will do is just make a note of that sales order 101128, and we'll have a quick look at this one back in Business Central. So once I've released that order, the order is saved live back into the system and it will be ready to fulfill. So we'll go do a search of that sales order. I'm going to use the tell me function or the search function to go and find that sales order. This search function is really helpful for finding any information or areas of the system fast. Unlike so many other systems, Dynamics has a really powerful and helpful search ability, particularly good for when you're getting to know the system, if it's new to you, or you've got new starters who you're onboarding and they need to learn a new system. You don't have to know where every area is in the system because it's so simple to just search for whatever you're looking for. So it does have an almost predictive ability as well. So you don't even need to know what the area is called necessarily, as it's quite clever and it will start to make suggestions for you. So I've typed in sal ord there for sales order. And even though it's technically misspelled, it's suggested what I'm looking for down here. So I can then just jump straight to that area of the system. Then do a quick search of that sales order that we actioned back in Outlook. And you can see there that that sales order has been put straight into the system and our relevant teams would have been notified by now. And any next steps can obviously be actioned off the back of that. So whilst we're in this transaction, I'll show you how simple it is to look at other entries in the system too, as this is usually a very time-heavy task for finance teams. So we are in the sales order for the School of Fine Art. And just like you've seen in other areas of the system, you can jump to associated data for that customer on the right-hand side. So we'll go into the posted sales invoices here, and we'll just have a quick look at this first invoice. So I can use what is called the Find Entries feature, and that's going to show me every location in the system where this particular invoice has gone. I can jump into any of these related entries as well. So we'll have a look at these general ledger ones. And that's every location in the system where this invoice has gone, which is related to our general ledger. Typically, this could take a team a huge amount of time and manual effort where someone would need to go through every single sales transaction to find the specific one, and then again, go through their GL screen is completed in literally a few seconds. So the last thing that I will show you is something else which is incredibly simplified in Business Central, which is correcting invoices once they've already been posted. So if I go to our posted sales invoices, we'll just have a look at any of these. So I could, for example, need to change the payment method on a specific transaction. If maybe they ended up using a different method, I can quickly make that change. And then all I would need to do is just click OK. Or I can actually correct it where it's been posted in error before the customer has received anything. For example, maybe we should have billed for 4 hours down here and not 5. I can make that change by hitting correct here. Once it loads up, I would just need to make the really simple change of changing that 5 hours to 4 and then just hit post. And what this does is it raises a credit memo on the customer account. So the original invoice and the new one is now linked. So it can be correctly managed from an accounting perspective. So ideal for things like audits where your records must be kept up to date, but it also means your customer couldn't pay in error because the credit memo and the invoice are linked now. Thank you for watching. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to our team and one of our experts will be happy to help.